I'm Bobby Flay. Each week, one brave chef will try to take me down in my house. This culinary battle is gonna shake down in 2 rounds. Round 1, to get to me, 2 contenders have to go through each other first, using an ingredient of my choice.
Let the games begin!
2 people that know me well will decide who's got the skills to beat me.
He's gonna smoke you.
Turn up the heat!
Round 2, I go head-to-head with a winning contender. It's their turn to surprise me with their signature dish. That's what you brought here?
I'm excited.
Bottom line, everyone's out to beat me. Now I'm nervous. I never go down without a fight, and here are 2 people who are gonna try to get me beat. Chefs Alex Guanachelli and Ted Allen. Who do you guys have today?
First up, chef and owner from Gastropod in Miami, Florida, Jeremiah Bullfrog. Yes, that's his real name.
This next contender's worked for David Burke, Daniel Blue, and Todd English. He's the executive chef of Good Food, Good Futures, Kyle Williams.
You have 20 minutes to make one ingredient the star of your plate. And that ingredient is ricotta cheese. You must make the ricotta cheese the star of your dish. And then Alex and Ted will taste it, and they'll decide which one of you will go against me in round 2. You'll have 20 minutes. Go.
Fired up.
Need a fire extinguisher or anything, sir? How you doing?
I'm making ricotta and chorizo bruschetta with ricotta and poblano crema.
That's a big flavor. How are you gonna make ricotta cheese the star?
Lots of love.
Lots of love?
I'm choosing to do ricotta 2 ways to really showcase the ingredients. The first thing I have to get working on is the crema. I grab poblano peppers, yellow Spanish onions, fresh garlic, get that sauteing, deglaze with tequila, add fresh cream, and then ricotta cheese. And I add it to the blender and puree it until it's silky smooth.
Is this some kind of gnocchi?
We're going a little nudie style.
We're getting nudie with it.
My dish is ricotta nudie with La Quinto kale. Nudie is an Italian pasta dish, just little cheese balls.
Is there gonna be a sauce?
No sauce.
Ricotta's kind of dry.
Is nudie typically ever done without some kind of sauce?
I think so. I add eggs, semolina flour. I start forming the nudie and I fry one off. Wish I had enough for all of you.
I've got a lot to do. I start sauteing Mexican chorizo. And then I add yellow onions, bell peppers, thyme, basil, and then I actually fold in the ricotta cheese.
I like to cook kale very simply.
What did you just put on the kale?
Champagne vinegar, hit it with a touch of agave. I'm gonna have these rich cheese dumplings, and so the touch of sweetness of the kale is really going to play off of that well. The dish needs some crunch, so I decide to make a salad with raw shaved radishes and radish greens and raw shallot. Those little textures are gonna take the dish to the next level.
Cooking in the arena is very stressful. I'm thinking, how can I elevate this dish even more?
Hey, Kyle's just broken out the quail eggs.
The egg adds a degree of difficulty. You gotta be extremely delicate. You can't break the yolk.
It's time to start plating. I put a piece of kale draped around the nudie and add a little salad to go on top.
30 seconds.
It's crunch time. I put the ricotta crema on the bottom of the plate and put the ricotta and chorizo and quail egg on top.
10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
Kyle, tell us what you made.
So I did a ricotta and chorizo bruschetta and poblano crema.
The flavor on that poblano sauce is dynamite.
Seeing a quail egg adds another layer of technique, and I appreciate that you took that risk. I like that you made a sauce and the topping for your bruschetta, both with the main ingredient. But mixing the chorizo in there, you kind of pushed the star off to the side a little bit, I think.
Jeremiah, please tell us about your dish.
It's ricotta nudie, charred kale, and radish salad.
What's going on with the way you plated this?
I don't like to clump everything together.
Your presentation doesn't tell nearly as good a story as the taste.
The nudie is very, very light. I really do taste the ricotta, and it tastes terrific with this acidic kale.
I don't even miss a sauce.
The chef who will compete against Bobby Flay is Chef Jeremiah.
It is disappointing, but I feel that I did really well. This is the first to come of many more competitions.
My signature dish is straight from the 305, Cuban sandwich.
45 minutes starts now.
I'm making a Cuban sandwich with a sour orange glazed pork tenderloin, serrano ham, pickles with mayonnaise and mustard. The sour orange is very Cuban. I'm using tangerine juice, bitter orange juice, and some honey. It's a little tart and a little sweet.
My signature dish is an Italian-inspired Cuban with pork fat mustard, pickled fennel, and mustard green salad. I glue the pork belly around the pork loin to give that juxtaposition of meat and great flavor. I'm doing sous vide cooking, which is cooking in a hot water bath. All the juices stay with the product.
Will that cook in such a short amount of time?
We're gonna cross our fingers.
How are you cooking the tenderloin, chef?
I'm gonna spice rub it and then put the sour orange glaze on it. Pork tenderloin does not have a lot of flavor, so I'm using my own spice rub, and I will not be telling you what the spices are.
Alex, how is he cooking the tenderloin?
All right, I'll tell you. There's paprika, red chilies, mustard seeds, some black pepper, a little bit of cumin.
Lots of bright, dramatic flavors over here.
I'm making my own pickles to control the flavor and the texture. Typically, on a Cuban sandwich, pickles are dill pickle, but you just can't stay away from the heat. I'm using Persian cucumbers in a solution of white wine vinegar, sugar, habanero chilies, and turmeric.
So I immediately turn my attention to the pickle component. I start to shave fennel thin and use sour orange to pickle the fennel. I vacuum pack that, and all the liquid gets forced into the fennel.
Boiled ham is the classic for the Cuban sandwich, but serrano ham is just a little saltier. I'm gonna fry mine. Just wanted something a little bit crunchy on the sandwich.
You would not typically have a bacony kind of element.
No, but I say you have to have at least 2 pork products in there.
Looks like you are making mustard.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
The mustard is a huge component to the dish.
How are you making it here? Agave?
The agave is the sugar. I'm gonna impregnate it with a little vinegar.
Who is this guy?
I knew I was going to have fun today, but all right, so what's special about it?
It's chunky, and then we're gonna finish with some pork fat.
That sounds great. Pork fat.
I add the mustard into the vacuum, and the vinegar is compressed into the mustard seeds. I have some garlic cooking off in pork fat, so I add that in, start to puree it with turmeric and cornstarch to make that texture pop.
Usually there's mayonnaise and mustard on a Cuban, but I'm just gonna bring some more flavor to the mayonnaise with cumin, oregano, and garlic. Cumin has that earthy flavor, and a little bit really goes a long way. I have all my components done. I just need to put the sandwich together. I put some cumin mayo, then I add a layer of the Swiss cheese, pickles, another layer of the Swiss cheese, then I add the crispy serrano ham and my slices of pork tenderloin.
I run over to the water bath and pull out my franken meat. The pork belly just kind of comes unglued from the pork loin. Nothing is cooked through. So now the ship is going down. Oh, God. I just have to save this thing. So I quickly dunk them in the fryer. I think my pork is cooked the best it can be.
1 minute to go, guys.
I definitely start to rush. I cut the Cuban bread, slice the meat, and build on top of that with pickled fennel.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. I would like to now introduce you to your judges. First up, chef and owner of Kefi, Fish Tag, and MP Taverna, Chef Michael Salakis. Next up, chef and owner of Little Owl, Joey Campanero. And finally, restaurant critic for the New York Observer, Joshua David Stein. Gents, please dig into the first Cuban sandwich.
I like the crispy serrano. It's smart, it's compelling.
The pickles got a really nice, right acidity to it.
Which was a really nice, refreshing touch to it. And credit to toasting it properly.
But I think it's like a cumin overload to the face.
Yeah, and there's no mustard.
So feel free to switch plates.
They really dissect these things.
I'm not even dissecting, I'm just trying to figure out how to pick it up.
Yeah,
This is kind of hard to eat.
but there's a lot of technique. The thought of using fennel here as opposed to pickles brings a little bit of sweetness.
And I do love the mustard. I love the texture of it.
I would put on any sandwich any day of the week.
Yeah, but the belly's not crisp. It jiggles. Conceptually, this is more exciting because it's aiming higher. On the other hand, there's pretty serious flaws in the execution.
And the winner is Mr. Bobby Flay.
Good job, dude. Glad to have you.
There's no hard feelings. It is Bobby Flay, after all. Bobby is a warrior. I put my best foot forward, and I definitely feel accomplished.